The family of a former SDSU student suing a fraternity talks with CBS 8 News. Their message to other parents.
San Diego police say crime is down across the city, but do San Diegans feel safe?
El Nino is back in the bigs, and you're going to hear from Fernando Tatis Jr.
By the SeaWorld Animal Rescue, and more details on how you can also get involved with helping the creatures right along our coastline.
You are our son. And the Masquerade Brigade celebrates its 100th performance and counting.
When skies are gray.
And are all electric vehicles eligible for a $7,500 tax credit? CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
I have to be grateful that he's still alive. There are some parents who don't have a son in the world anymore, and I still have my son.
A young man says his life changed forever after a fraternity hazing ritual. Tonight, for the first time, we hear from family members of former SDSU student Benjamin Brennan. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Jesse Pagan. We first told you about his lawsuit against Kappa Sigma earlier this month. His sister and mother talked with me about life over the past 2 years and their message to other families.
So many of my memories with him are just playing together, laughing together.
From her home in Pennsylvania, Caitlin Brennan gushes about her little brother, Ben.
He's my favorite person, and he always has been.
But she says that person Benjamin Brennan isn't the one he is now.
It really feels like we have been mourning the Ben I just described and trying to get to know and understand this new Ben as a consequence of what happened to him.
As a freshman 2 years ago, Ben rushed Kappa Sigma at San Diego State University. In this 28-page lawsuit, Ben and his lawyers detail how they say fraternity brothers hazed him.
They had a strong control, indoctrination, if you will, and they called him and said, "Get over here now."
Once there, the lawsuit claims frat brothers took Ben and other pledges' keys and phones, then forced them to drink. For Ben, it was a bottle of hard liquor within 30 minutes while making him smoke tobacco and marijuana and exercise in an effort to get him and other pledges as drunk as possible. Lawyers say that's when Ben passed out and frat brothers started paddling him. An hour and a half later, they took him to the hospital.
They didn't tell him who he was. We found him. That's what they said. We found him. He had an ID in his pocket, so the hospital found out who he was.
France says Ben's blood alcohol content was 0.489, a deadly level 6 times the legal driving limit. Doctors put Ben on life support, and he fell into a coma with a 1% chance of survival. France says Ben now suffers from severe PTSD, anxiety, and cognitive impairment.
It's just really sad because he's such a different person.
Ben's mom, Lindsay Gibson, also talked with us.
What do you miss most about him, if you're willing to share that?
I think it's watching him struggle. I mean, personally, I miss who he used to be, but to watch your child struggle, I think it's a sense of helplessness.
SDSU suspended Kappa Sigma in 2020 and expelled the chapter in 2022, making it an unrecognized student organization. Despite this, France says the chapter stayed open and recruited under its national umbrella.
Ben knew about the suspension, he knew about the status of Kappa Sigma. Why continue to pursue, pledge a position in Kappa Sigma knowing at least some of the trouble that it was involved in?
My understanding, he knew, but he never thought they were dangerous.
In a statement, Kappa Sigma's national executive director says they're aware of the lawsuit and will review it closely, adding, quote, "What happened to Benjamin Brennan is unacceptable under any circumstances, and the Kappa Sigma fraternity has taken action against the individuals who were involved. As an organization, we continue to adamantly oppose hazing, the misuse of alcohol, and placing the health and safety of any person at risk."
Sorry.
As almost any mother would, Lindsay has run the gamut of emotions from disbelief to gratitude.
And I'm also angry because it was so senseless. It didn't have to happen. It shouldn't happen to anyone.
That anger now fuels what's become Lindsay and Caitlin's mission to protect others.
I'd say it's really important to sit down and have a serious discussion about different social organizations, you know, whether it's athletics or clubs. I hope they show their son the pictures of my son on life support, and that's a real person. That is my son that happened to, and maybe that will make them reconsider or at least understand that there is a risk involved.
Ben now lives in San Luis Obispo. He isn't talking with reporters. His lawyers say he is functional, but severe PTSD, anxiety, depression, and cognitive impairment make it hard for him day to day. They say he's tried but can't work or continue school. SDSU is not a defendant in Ben's lawsuit, and a spokesperson tells us they have no comment. This lawsuit is civil. As of tonight, the district attorney's office tells me they are not handling this case.
As far as the family and attorney goes in this, are they concerned about the entire Greek system here, or do they think this was just a problem with one specific fraternity on one specific campus?
So the lawyer, James France, I asked him a bit about that. He mentioned, I am handling different cases with different Greek organizations related to these kinds of issues, but he does say, quote, this is a bad egg here, and they want to make a point of that. He did say, I was Greek when he went to college, and he said that they worked on philanthropy. They would have never thought about doing something like this or being involved in something like this. So they do want to point that out, and the family also does want to make sure that it doesn't happen in Greek life anywhere else.
Look forward to hearing the results of this. All right, thanks, Jesse. New details tonight about an hours-long police chase that turned into a standoff in Carlsbad. Police say a 39-year-old woman stole a rideshare, and then when they tried to stop her, she showed a knife and made life-threatening statements, then just took off. The chase stopped on the 5 and it shut down northbound lanes for about an hour and a half. The driver did eventually surrender and was taken into custody. San Ysidro High School basketball star Mikey Williams pleaded not guilty today to felony charges of firing a gun into an occupied vehicle at his home in Hamul. CBS 8 has learned the car was an Uber. David Gofferton talked to a relative of the driver who said the bullets hit the back of the car.
At this time, Mr. Williams wishes to enter not guilty pleas, deny all allegations contained in the amended complaint.
A not guilty plea today from 18-year-old Mikey Williams, the star basketball player who played for San Ysidro High School. He has a massive following on social media, a multi-million-dollar endorsement portfolio, and was committed to play at the University of Memphis next season. Now he's charged with 5 felony counts of assault with a firearm and 1 felony count of shooting into an occupied vehicle.
Well, I mean, these are allegations that involve firing a weapon at multiple individuals and into an occupied vehicle. Obviously, these are dangerous, serious actions.
Williams appeared remotely in court because of security concerns, according to his defense attorney.
There have been numerous threats that were made online that gave us concern for his safety.
The sheriff's department says the incident happened on March 27th at Williams' home on Bratton Valley Road in Hamul. The teenager was then arrested last week while deputies served a search warrant at the home. 3 of the alleged victims in the car were minors, 2 were adults.
I am not aware of any relationship between those individuals and my client. There was no party at the house.
I spoke to a relative of the driver of the vehicle who told me the 25-year-old man behind the wheel was in fact an Uber driver, and that the sheriff's department has impounded the car, which the relative said was hit at least 2 times in the back of the vehicle.
Yes, sir. Okay.
In court, the judge ordered Williams not to possess any firearms and issued a protective order preventing him from contacting the 5 alleged victims. Williams is out of custody on $50,000 bail. If convicted on all counts, he faces 28 years in prison. He'll be back in court for a preliminary hearing on June 29th. At San Ysidro High School, David Gofferton, CBS 8.
Thank you, David. County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher's seat with the MTS board is still vacant tonight. Today, the board failed to reach the 2/3 majority needed to appoint a new chair. Right now, City Council member Stephen Whitburn will remain acting chair. The other 2 nominees include El Cajon Councilman Steve Goebel and La Mesa City Council member Patricia Dillard. Tonight, advocates are calling for the county to take a new approach at solving the homelessness crisis. They're asking the county to create its first homeless commission. This comes after San Diego City Council member Stephen Whitburn proposed to ban homeless encampments within 2 miles of public spaces.
Still ahead, a heads up if you drive a Kia or Hyundai, why the California Attorney General is leading an effort to recall some models.
Plus, a milestone celebration for a local organization helping set young men on the right path to adulthood.
Daytime high for today was actually in the 70s, and so we are going above seasonal. We're going to keep that train going for the next few days. All those details are ahead.